Hi, so welcome everyone for today's webinar. We have a webinar today on Windchill MPMLink functionality. In this webinar, we will go through how we can transform the E bill of material to the M bill of material, and also how we can generate process manufacturing planning, or in Windchill terms, how we can create process plans for that. So let's get started. So my name is Radhika Bhagat, and this is Windchill MPMLink webinar. So today's objective is to review and demonstrate Windchill MPMLink functionality. And to start with, we will have an introduction of who we are, and then we'll go to the topic overview. After that, we will have a demonstration on how we will be using Windchill MPMLink functionality, and then rest comes the question and answers. Let's move ahead. Hi, my name is Radhika Bhagat. I am 8+ years of experience in PTC products, specialized in Windchill, and I am a Windchill certified implementer. So we are PDSVISION, formerly known as boundary systems. If you see on the map, if you see the map on right side, you can see an overview of PDSVISION presence all over the globe. Then we are technology leaders in PTC global reselling, and we are the preferred services provider. We are also software solutions developer for design and manufacturing. Our capabilities include consulting, implementation services, professional training, cloud, help desk. And you'll see that since we were formerly known as boundary system, the graph below shows that PDSVISION then acquires boundary systems in 2018. Let's move ahead now. So these are all our partners. To start with, we have PTC, and we have Tactone, we have Model X 3D, we have Xformation, then we have ITRAJ, Sigma 6, Sigma Sim, we have ZWCAD, we have Keyshot, we have ITI, and we have Symmetrix. So coming to our today's topic as an overview of what is Windchill MPMLink. So Windchill MPMLink is a module of Windchill, and this module of Windchill helps us to transform the e-bill of material, that is the design BOMs, which are present in Windchill, into the manufacturing bill of material. So it provides capabilities to do that. It also provides capability to create manufacturing process planning. So we can have a process plan with set of operations being created inside Windchill, which will show us as to how we can manufacture that particular mBOM. Then the next topic is automatically generating electronic work instructions. So when we generate process plan, we can also have a electronic work instruction, which will be a PHP page or an HTML page, which will be generated from a process plan, and which is in electronic mode, and gives us an overview of the set of operations present in it, along with the parts and all the resources. Let's move ahead now. And to see an overview of this, in the webinar, we will be having a demo of the same functionality. One will be the mBOM to mBOM transformation, which will be done using the BOM transformer window. And then we will be having the process planning. That means creating a process plan for the bill of material. Okay. So I will start the demo now. And let me get to my VM. Okay, so we are looking at this is a Windchill product page. This is a folder structure of a product named as bicycle inside Windchill. Now, in this particular product, I have already prepared some data for this demo, and we will go through that. I have a CAD model, which is a cycle assembly, and we will see how we can transform this CAD model's e-bill of material to m-bill of material. To start with, this particular CAD model will have its e-bill of material. That means if we go to the part page, let me come to the structure of the part. Okay, now this is where we start. So what we are looking at right now is a manufacturing, sorry, a design bill of material. So this is a structure in a design view. As you can see, the part is cycle.asm is in A.2 design. That means this is an upstream view. So in Windchill term, we call this as a E bill of material. Now, when we generate an M bill of material on this design view, that will be having a different view apart from design over here. It will be called in manufacturing view, and that is how it will be called as M bill of material. So let's go ahead and start with the process. The first step is that in the actions menu, you go to open in, and we have this option which says open in BOM transformer. Now, this is the option which is available when you have the MPMLink model inside Windchill. And this is the page which allows you to transform the E bill of material to M bill of material. So if I click on it, right? Sorry. Okay. So let's come back to our demo. So this BOM transformer window, if you can see on the left hand side, we have the design view structure, and on the right side we have the manufacturing structure. That means in manufacturing view. Now this data I have already prepared. Some of the data I've already prepared for the demo. However, if you can see, I have not transformed the entire structure, the entire bill of material. There are some parts which are yet to be generated in the manufacturing bill of material. So we will be doing this through the demo. Before moving ahead, let's go to some of the options that are present on this page. Let me go to, let's start from here. So these are some of the icons that allow you to say insert new or insert multiple objects inside this structure. Then you have the checkout and check-in option. Then this one is again for copy and pasting the one particular child component from e bill of material, say, to some other M bill of material. Then with this particular option allows us to have a view, some set of view options. So if I click on show height specific, it will allow you to see some specific information for that M bill of material. I can show you that later on. Then we have this new option which helps us to create new downstream branch or new downstream part. Then we have this edit filter. So we have filters which will help us to view a structure in a particular set of rules. So for now, for my e-bill of material, I have design working. And for the bill of material, I have manufacturing view and in working. So again, this is a refresh option. And then here some of the options, such as this is detect discrepancies. So it's like resolving any changes between the left side structure with the right side structure, that is the e-BOM with the mBOM. Then we have again reconciliation assistance. So if you click on it, you can again compare two structures. For example, if I click here on the compare structures and try for all actions and click on search, you will see that it will tell you the differences in the structure. For our demo, as I told you, that I've already generated partially the bill of material. So these are the remaining options that it is telling me. So it is telling me that this part number over here, tire.prt, such as here, if you come to this particular structure and go to what is this? What was that? Mudguard or tire, whatever. Yeah, mudguard.prt. It will tell you that it is not yet allocated in the bill of material, and then it will show you in a triangle. This particular column over here shows us a status of that particular item. So it's telling me that the equivalent part does not exist. Equivalent part meaning the manufacturing equivalent of that particular design part. Okay, I'll come to that these status again. So I can close this. So then these are some of the other options. We can create equivalent link between two versions here. For example, if I have this A.2 design cycle.asm and this A.6 manufacturing, and if I want to create a link between them, I can use this option. However, right now they are already allocated. You can say that it is green color, so they are already allocated. But you can, if they get updated or iterated, then you can update them using this option. Let's start with the main option here. As I told you, whenever we are trying to generate, so before moving ahead, I would also like to tell you some options on these, the green tabs over here. Again, this view allows us to go through certain attributes for that particular part. Say, for example, if I'm looking at a, say, brake lever, okay, and or it's a frame or whichever component I'm looking at, it will allow you to look at the set of attributes that it has. And also, so let me go to one of the option here. If you apply path filter to that, you will also be able to see only that component. If you want to work only on that component, you can apply the path filter over there. And in the visualizations tab also, you will be able to see only that particular component. So if I again remove this path filter, then we are again back to the structure. So you are able to see the entire assembly. And then we have the uses tab here, which is like the uses tab for the structure, wherein you can update the quantity, the unit, and all other usage attributes. Then we have the made from option, which allows you to have a made from association. That means it's for allocating raw materials for a particular part in the bill of material. I have added a couple of them in some of the options here. I will get back to that. And then we have visualizations tab. So this will give you a visualization of the structure that we are working on. And then as and when we allocate the components from the design BOM, e-BOM to the mBOM, you will get to see in the visualization also at that time. Then the equivalence part is the tab where you can see the equivalence association. That means the upstream and the downstream association. That means for this A.2 design, I have A.6 manufacturing as the manufacturing part. So these are some of the options for them. Then this equivalence occurrence is again the occurrences wherein we have number of quantities or more. Then the documentation tab can help you allocate documents for the structure, and even for each of the parts inside the structure, any specification document or anything if you would like to add to that particular bill of material. Then we have the process plan. This is to creating a process plan, which we will go through after this in this demo. Then we have a plant option wherein you can allocate some plants. Plant is an object which can be created with the MPMLink functionality, so it can represent a plant inside an ERP system. Then we have some other options, such as this is another option which is alternate BOM. So alternate BOM it can help you create other alternates to even one specific view. So right now it's showing manufacturing alternate of that design, but we can even have design testing BOM, or design production BOM, or design maintenance BOM. So alternate BOMs are like creating different alternates inside one particular views, and such that we have some other options such as control characteristics. So let's start with the main functionality here. I will open the visualization tab on both the sides, and we will see how the BOM transformation happens. Uh, if I want to start creating a manufacturing bill of material for this, I will right click on this particular structure, and then I create new downstream branch. Now this option allows me to generate an manufacturing view for that particular structure, and in that you have different options available for the particular, for carrying forward the child structure also. So right now, since I've already created, it will show me that there is already existing. However, I will try to do the same action for all other components. So I can close this now, and I will go to the parts which are not yet allocated. So for example, if you see the mudguard, let me change the view here so that we can come to know. I will just adjust the view. So the visualization tab can be used to adjust the certain parameters in the view so that you can work the way you want. I'll just make it to the right. Sorry, I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, now it looks fine. So I am looking at the mudguard. Okay, if I click on that, you can also see that it is getting highlighted in the visualization over here. And if I right click on this, so we will see that when I create this particular part in manufacturing view inside this particular mBOM, you will see that in the visualization also it automatically gets allocated. So let me click on this, and I will, this time I can use the copy option. So it's also going to help me do the same thing. If I copy and I want to paste it under this particular bill of material parent, so I right click on it, and make sure you click on that structure and then you right click on it, and you say new downstream branch. That means the same action. And just a minute, let me refresh this. So you can click on the visualization and go to the part like this, copy this, and I click on it, new downstream branch. As there are no downstream views in the filter. Sorry, there is something to do with, let me select another one. New downstream branch. No downstream. Let me refresh that. Let me select another one. The assembly. Just a second. I'm sorry for this. I will close this window. Open it again. It must be something to do with the. Yeah. So we were here, and I will click on this, copy, and paste it. Paste as new. Sorry, yeah. I have to do a paste as new branch. I'm extremely sorry. We have to select paste as new branch option here, which will allow me to paste it as a new branch. Yeah, I was trying to do a new downstream branch, which is I'm sorry for that. Okay, so when I have to do this new branch option, we will go through one by one what these options say. In the downstream view, you can specify which view for downstream you want to assign. So in our case, I will select manufacturing. Now in OOTB, we have design and manufacturing as the two views that we get. But based on our requirements, we can also have some different views, such as manufacturing specific to a particular plant, say manufacturing plant 1, manufacturing plant 2. So this list can also be changed there. In our case right now, I'll click on manufacturing. Then the downstream BOM type. So as I mentioned earlier, there was an option to have an alternate BOM. So this option can help us to have an alternate BOM, such as costing or production or testing. So in the manufacturing, you can have multiple BOMs here. Currently, I will not go through that now. And then again, inside the alternate BOM, you can have numbers for each alternate BOMs. So that part is for generating the alternate BOM. If you go down, you have an option. Now this particular box, it gives you an option as to how you want to create the child items in it. Now the part that I copied, it is a single component. It does not have any structure below it. So that is why this is disabled right now. But next time we do have an option here. I have kept an option for the back wheel assembly, wherein we will be allocating the wheel to the bicycle. When I copy and select that, at that time I can show you the difference here. And this is the context in which that gets created. And then if I click on recalculate, you will see that when I click OK, it is highlighted here, mudguard manufacturing. So let me adjust the view again. Now you will see that the mudguard is also highlighted in the visualization. Let me reduce this. Yeah. Similarly here also, it is now highlighted. So likewise, we can also do for all other particular components of an assembly. So let me try to do it for the other remaining part also. And you must have also seen that the status over here for this particular part is also turned to be green. That means we have allocated a new downstream version for that, and that is why the status is shown as green. Now let me do it for all others. I have kept some data still. So we have the suspension here. So if I click on suspension, you will see in the visualizations also, it is getting highlighted automatically. So now let me try to create that. Again, copy. And since I'm doing a copy paste, we use a paste as new branch. But for the first one, we just create a new downstream branch. So I'll just create paste as new branch, and then manufacturing, I will keep manufacturing and click OK. You will see the suspension is highlighted and it is also allocated. Similarly, I think we have only one remaining over here, which is the back wheel assembly. Now the wheel assembly is the one that is remaining. So let me copy this. And if I go to the parent, I will paste it as a new branch. So now here, when I try to paste it as a new branch, I want to do it in manufacturing. Okay, I'm not trying to create any alternate BOM here, but now we come to this main important point here. This particular back wheel assembly, as you can see, it has two components in it, which are in design view. Okay, so this particular option allows you to whether or not you want to duplicate those components. So if you select do not duplicate, I will only have this particular black wheel assembly copy pasted over there. It will not have any structure below that. Okay, so that is the meaning of do not duplicate. But if you wish to also have the structure along with it, okay, so in that case you have two options. One will be wherein you will try to allocate everything below that in design view itself, or whether you want to have a manufacturing view for the tire and the rim also. So in my case, I will select, okay, so for the first one, the duplicate with propagating will help me to create manufacturing view for both of the tire and rim. But if I select duplicate without propagating, it will just create the child items below that manufacturing parent in design view only. So in our case, let me select duplicate with propagating. So I want everything in manufacturing. And if I click OK, you will see in the picture also the wheel has been allocated along with the tire and the rim, everything. And you see it's highlighted over here, and we have everything in manufacturing view because we selected duplicate with propagating. Now let me quickly try to check in this particular mBOM. Okay, yeah. So now that we have the M bill of material, now in this also we have different features. This is where we have simply generated an M bill of material, but you also have some other features wherein you can allocate raw material. For example, if you go to made from, you can also allocate some raw material. For example, if I have a seat over here, I have already allocated a raw material for that. So in my case, I want to have a raw material rubber for that particular seat. So you can allocate a, another part for it. Now, how do we do that? Now, this is part of the enrichment material. Right now, we just created it. But if you want to enrich it, these are some of the few options. In case of allocating raw material, what we do is we have option here which says insert made from. So if I select insert made from, I can allocate any material from my context and use it. So in my case, I've allocated this as a rubber material and allocated there. If you want to view that in this particular view, where let's make use of this view option, which will help us to see that. So as I told you, this is one option which will show some information related to that. In my case, it is the made from information. So I click that option. And when I click OK, you will get to see that from this rubber, we are trying to create the seat. So similarly, you can have raw materials for other parts also. Then if I go to the documentation tab, we can also have some documents assigned. You can simply create a new document from here, or you can add an existing one to that particular structure or any component below that. Okay, so these are some of the features which will allow you to enrich that particular mBOM. Now, since we have generated the M bill of material, we can go to the process plan tab, and try creating a process plan for it. For this particular webinar, I've already created a bicycle plan over here. But in general, how we do it is that we go and click on the manufacturing bill of material, and then we click on insert new, and this is the page which will allow us to create a process plan. Now there are some objects that come along with the MPM link module. So process plan is one such object, and it can have different categories such as production, maintenance, quality, or repair based on your requirement. I've created a production one. I gave it a certain name, and then I've selected the view as manufacturing in general. Um, it's mostly recommended to have manufacturing view for almost all the objects that we would usually create for the MPM link processors. So it could be tooling, it could be fixtures, it could be resources. We'll go to those part later on, but usually we select the view as manufacturing here, not the design. And then this this option is for the basic location option. Then we can go to an option which is unit here, which is each or anything, and then the standard option over here. Okay, so this is a process plan which will be like a set of instructions which will be generated. Okay, but if you want to make a set of instructions not specific to any particular manufacturing but bill of material, but like a standard which can be used and which can be linked to all the process plan, you have this option which says standard. So if you click standard as yes, you will not have a process plan, but you will have a standard procedure created, and that will not have any part allocated to it. It will be like a standard procedure and some operations in it. But for now, I have created with no option, and then occurrence allocation from any level. So I've selected yes. So it's like it will allow me to allocate part from any level of the BOM, not just from the first level. So I've selected yes in that. So let me take you to the process plan page. Right click and view information. So this is how the display page of a process plan looks like. You have the number, you have name, then as I told you, I've created in manufacturing view. Again, we have production as the option, the category over there. Let's go to the structure tab. Now the structure tab is a place where we actually perform operations on it. This open related part option over here will help to show us what M bill of material we have generated this particular process plan. Okay, let's go to some of the options here. These are some of the options which will help us to insert new existing operations inside this process plan. Now I have already generated few operations inside this process plan to show you as how it looks like, but we will add one more for all the latest parts that we have added inside our M bill of material. Apart from that, let's go to some of the options here. So this is like the editing options available. Then we have the checkout check-in option. The viewing here over here, it helps us to generate the representation and also the work instruction. I will be showing that. Then these are some other options such as filters and new and so on. Then we go to, let me go to some of the tab here. This is the attributes tab for that process plan, the number, name, and everything. Then we can have documentation if you want to add some documents for that particular process plan. Then we have visualization. So the whatever cycle whatever cycle assembly we have right now allocated up till now, it is showing us. So in the M bill of material, we have added some parts such as the back wheel and the suspension. It's not yet being shown because it is not yet being allocated in this particular process. Then we have the option which says work center allocation. Here you can allocate some plants to that particular process plan. So we can have a process plan for multiple plants. Plants is one object which we can create inside it comes along with the MPM link option module. Then we have the users tab. In users tab, this is basically showing you a high level information of all the operations that I have added. So it will show you the label, the names that I have given them, such as it's like frame manufacturing, then installing the suspension, assemble pedal, then allocate bicycle seat. Some of the operations one by one which we can perform to assemble the entire assembly. Then the name, description. This is this is description in HTML text format. So this is like you can highlight and format a particular set of instruction or the description so that that will come along in the work instruction. And likewise, you can have the timing options also, such as the labor time, the process time. Then we have the part allocation. If you go to operations, you will get to know what all parts are being allocated to that. Okay, and then we have the processing resources option. So it will also tell you what all resources are being used in that particular operation. Say for an operation, you need a assembly line, you need a skill set such as the inspection. So if I click on this operation, I will get to know that I've added one skill set and I've also added one tooling. And then the control characteristics and the standard procedures again. So standard procedure is the set of instructions that I was talking about. So let's see how we can generate one operation for that particular, for the objects that we just added in. When we want to create an operation, we right click on this node and you click on editing and insert operations option over here. Now I'm trying to create only one operation for now, and then I click OK. So you can see that the process plan is checked out, and we have one operation that is being created over here. So let me rename this. We can rename it as, in the users tab, you will get to see how to rename it. So maybe, sorry, let me go back. There is, okay, yeah. I will rate it as back wheel. Okay. Okay. And also we are now supposed to allocate these particular parts that we just added. So let me open the visualization tab again so that you will get to know when we add that. And if I scroll down over there, let me open this. So this is our manufacturing bill of material, and this is the visualization of it. Also, there is an option over here, allocation status, which helps us to see what all objects are still remaining. Okay, so this display part allocation status option over here will tell us what all parts are yet to be allocated. So for all these allocated, all these already allocated here, it is showing 100, but it will show 0% for the ones that we just copy pasted, like these over here. So let's get them one by one. I will get the assembly first. Where is it? Okay, so you click on this assembly here and just drag and drop that particular assembly inside the operation. Let me scroll down the operation here and just click on it, drag and drop it inside this particular operation. So I leave it. You can see in the visualization tab also, it is now available. And at the same time, in the M bill of material, you will see that the assembly is not there. Now let's repeat and do the same thing for the remaining ones also. And you will see that the allocation status will change at the same time. Okay, let's get the suspension. It's not okay. You can see it is highlighted in the visualization tab also again. And the one remaining is our mudguard over here. Let's get that also. Drag and drop. And you see our cycle is complete. So let's check in these changes. I can go to the process plan and try to check in everything. So you can directly check in at the root node so that everything below that gets checked in automatically. It's scrolling. Let me just, yeah, it is checked in properly. So the operation is now checked in properly. And before moving ahead, let me show you what all other options that we can allocate to a particular operation. Now, these are the options that I was showing in the resources tab. So if I go to the resource tab, say for example, for that particular operation, I need a resource such as the assembler here or an inspector. So I go over here and click allocate resource, and I can allocate any existing resource right now in the system. So it could be skill or tooling or processing material. Now, this is for allocating an existing resource. Let me show you, go back to the structure page and show you how I have allocated, how I have created them. I'll just quickly so these are some of the resources that I've created. Now, how we created it, you go to actions, new, and new resource option here. Now, when you click on new resource, you will see that there are different types of resource. I was telling about, we can have a plant as a resource. We can have processing materials such as you can have gas or coolant or something like that. Then there is a resource group in which you can have a set of resources. Then we can have skill. So right now we were trying to add a assembler. So this skill option will help you to create that resource such as assembler or electrician or inspector or anything. Again, we have tooling, which will help you to create tools or fixtures like that. And then we have the work center. That means, for example, you can generate an assembly line or something like that. So these are the options that are available, how you can create a new resource. I have already created few of them inside this. So let's make use of one of them. Now, this, let me go to this particular assembly line. So this is one assembly line that I've created. It's a work center. If you go to the structure tab of this, there's one interesting thing for this work center that I would like to show. We can also set compatibilities here. So what I've done is I've added a technician for this assembly line. And I want to say that this guy is mandatory. So anyone trying to do some operations at this assembly line needs to have this technician as a mandatory. So when I try to allocate this particular assembly line to my operation now, I will have this technician automatically assigned. Even if I forget, it will automatically tell me that this guy is mandatory, you assign it. So let's go to the process plan. I can show you how this works. I will go back to my operation here. I click on this, and this is the processing resource. What we have to do is we search that particular uh, assembly line here. So it was a work center. You click on work center. I have copied the number. Let me search with that. Okay, I have that assembly line, and you have to load it here. And now I can go and allocate it. So just drag and drop this option for this particular operation. So and then you click OK. It's just asking for the default time and cost values, and then you see this pop up here. It says it is showing about the compatibility that I showed right now. So it is saying that there is a technician which is mandatory for that, and then it will automatically assign that technician in the resource tab here automatically when we assign this work center. So if I click on OK, you will see that there is a technician also, and you will see that there's the assembly line, and he got a technician along with it. So this is something like a set of rules that can be applied. Again, we can have other resources such as coolant or tooling and all that. So let's try to check in these changes. Now I'm going to check in that. This will refresh my page. So my visualization tab will show my complete assembly now with, let me refresh. It should load the visualization there. But meanwhile, until it loads that, I can go to, I will try to show how the work instructions are generated. So if you click on work instructions, I've already generated the work instruction for this particular process plan. As you can see, we had these set of operations here. And if I click here, you can see the work instruction starts from, say, the name, basically from the name of the process plan, the number, its version, then the type, and then it comes up with the number, again the name of the operation. So this is where it starts giving the information of the operations one by one. Now this is an HTML page, but you can also save it in PDF format. Let's move ahead and see what kind of information it can show us. So I have already generated the default representation for this particular operation. If we go and see what all information is showing in the work instruction, to start with, we have the allocated paths. So for the first operation, we allocated um, uh, two frames here. Then we have also allocated some resources. So the work instruction will show me what all resources I've allocated. So if I go back to the process plan tab, you will come to know that for this particular work instruction, and you will see there are two paths here. Then there is one assembly line one and a coolant. So all the information related, the basic information related to an operation, they would come along in the work instruction. This is the assembly line that it is showing. Then it is showing the paths that are allocated. It's also showing the resources. Similarly, for all the operations, if you go ahead, the next step was to installing the suspensions. So this is how it is showing for all the others. I've allocated the parts here, the resource name, then again if you scroll down similarly. Now these illustrations over here, these can be, if you click on them, these can be opened in Creo from this page itself, and you can also try to make changes. If you want to add few notes in it, you can just click on that particular this illustration here and click OK. So what happens is it will open that in the Creo view, and which can help you add some options here. So if you want to change the name of this, or if you want to add some attributes here, so based on the Creo capabilities, you can add colors or anything, or you can add one more annotation or step by step. You can click on this and transform this particular us the part and say that this is how we need to install it. So the graphical, the visual steps can be added using Creo inside the work instructions. And these annotations, when saved from this file, you have to save them as save annotation, and those annotations would come inside this particular work instruction. Now let's get back. I wanted to generate work instruction right now. Let's see if the visualization tab is there. Now, how we generate the work instruction is that we have to go here and we have to click on this option here. And when you click on this, there is an option here which generates a work instructions. So if you click on new representation, or if you already have one, you have to click on default representation here. So if there is, this one already has one, so you can click on default representation and you can try to edit them inside the Creo view. Or else you can generate a new one, then again save the annotation set, and that is how those options will come inside our, that is how this comes inside our work instructions. So by making use of that option, we can generate visualization. So let me try to generate it for the last step that we did. Okay, the back wheel. Let me click here, new representation. Let me give it as default test. Submit publish job. Once this is successful now, and hence we have a default representation. Once you have a default representation, you have to open it. If you go in work instruction, edit, right click on it, double click on it, and open in Creo view, start. It's wrong. Okay, there's some problem with my representation generated over there. Something to do with my job publishing. Just a second. It's taking some time due to some configuration related issues, but that is how we have generated visualization for all others, and that is how we got it in the work instructions here. So if you click on work instructions and generate work instructions, that is how you can get them inside this. That is how you can get the visuals inside a work instruction. So yes, that's pretty much end of our webinar. We've seen the mBOM transformation. We have seen how we create process plan, how we add operations, we've seen how we allocate part and resources in it, and then we've seen how the work is coming for the process plan. That is how the look and feel of a work instruction is. Yeah, my system is giving some issues right now. Okay. I think that's pretty much from my side. Let me go back to my presentation. So if anybody have any questions related to the demo or related to MPMLink, I will give you a couple of minutes and if we can have a conversation. Now we are thank you everyone for joining this webinar today. Before ending, we would also like to tell about our training capabilities in Windchill 12. If you have any queries, questions, you can reach out to us. Our training capabilities, you can reach out to our sales email ID. sales@pdsvision.com, and you can also visit our YouTube channel. There is my email ID over here. If you have any questions, you can drop me an email, and we will definitely